Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CCT, Certified Tangle Teacher, and this is not a live class. The Zoom class recording did not turn out well, and so I am going to redo the class and do the Brave template and show you how I do the tangles that were done on this, the Mandy tangles, and so it's not live, but hopefully it will feel a little live because I'm not going to do much editing to it. So I'm using the Brave template that comes in, that's in the art journal book. You know, you get this cute book and it has little sayings that are affirmative sayings, and today is brave. Always remember you are braver than you think, stronger than you seem, and loved more than you know. And we are doing the Mandy tangles on here, and I love the fact that this is some of the ones that I did as practice, and I love the fact that Mandy is a henna art, and it means the light from within. And so we are going to do some tangles on here, and I'm just going to show you how you take this as your inspiration, and then you're going to draw. And so I'm going to deconstruct this, and this is the first little line, and so I'm going to, I see it's a large hump, and I'm going to do a large arch, then a small arch, a large arch, a small arch, a large one, and a small one. So it comes all the way over. And I just looked to see what size of pen I'm using, and I'm using an 05, and I don't normally use an 05, but I think I'm going to continue to use this 05 on here. And now we're going to aura this, and you can, I'm going to aura on the inside. Sometimes I aura on the outside, but this time I'm going to aura on the inside of each one of these little arches. And now I'm going to come back and add these little flower loops, and it, depending on how big your arch is, will depend on how many of those little loops you get in there. I'm going to come in a little bit so you can see, and so I'm going to add it again. And again, all the way, oops, sorry, all the way across there. That's what happens when I come in, is I get off my camera. And then we're going to fill in this space right here in between. And you can see how it is just extending that tangle out. And a lot of times I just don't know what to draw, and so this little art journal is just a way of helping you get inspiration on what to draw next and how to deconstruct something that's there. I think that's one of my hardest things, is deconstructing. And you can see here that these were all filled in, so we'll fill those in also. And since I'm doing a lot of fill in, I don't mind using the bigger tipped pen, the 05. Matter of fact, it's probably a little better for me. When I'm under stress, I tend to press harder than I should. And I've just had a little bit extra stress in my life lately, and I really need to tangle, but I don't need to ruin a bunch of pens while I'm at it. So there we have the first little arch. Now we're going to come and we're going to do this little, deconstruct this little arch that's right here. So I'm going to come, and it's going to come down to that first little notch, and it's not quite exactly right because this was, let's see if I can see, here is my original tangle that this was drawn from, and right there, and you can see that it just goes to the edge of the paper, so we're going to have to just kind of add it. And I'm going to add my little, I should have waited a little bit to do that, but we'll see. You're not going to notice. Well, you know, this is live, so there's no mistake in Zentangle. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Only opportunity. So I'm going to fill that in, and then I'll show you where these other arches go, and how that, even that little bit of mistake there, or little, is going to go away. So now I'm going to come over here to the between these two, and I'm going to draw kind of an arched line and here. And this one seems a little small, so I'm going to arch that one again so it fits in there, and then I'll come back and aura this, each one of those, aura those, and then put my little kind of a rice kernel shape in there, and then I'm going to color this in. And this is the Tangle Mandy Arch by Ina Sonamoser, and I failed to put her name on my handout, and I apologize for that. It's a really neat deconstruction of some fun tangles. And sometimes when I'm adding onto a tangle, like this was drawn before and I'm extending it out, sometimes I don't extend out exactly the same as I did on my first one, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to add that little line in there, and then I need to color this one in so that it kind of blends in. But I'm going to put another aura over this, and I always say, when in doubt, make an aura. And usually when I'm doing my filming, I speed up this part, and when I edit this, I'm going to speed this up also, even though in the live class it is not, you know, you have to just color it in. You have to take your time and color it in. And I turn my book or my tile, whatever you're working on, you want to turn it as you work. And I look and I think, oh, my lines are not really straight. They're kind of wobbly. And but they will disappear. If you think, well, it doesn't look good, they will disappear. And so now I'm gonna, and I could come right here on the end and do another one, but I'm gonna leave that so it just kind of hangs off the edge. And I see that I have repeated this along here again, so I am going to do another arch in between here, and I'm going to aura it, even though that is not on the tangle pattern, and I'm going to repeat just that same little flower pattern. so that I can come here and then aura this entire thing. And you notice I did not put one right here at this end. I just let it go off because I'm just going to continue to do. And I put some little lines in here, so right in here you can just put some little lines that just kind of thicken it up, and they kind of sometimes distract if you have little areas that you're not really happy with. Do a little checkerboard or little fat lines in there. Have to make sure I get the same one all the way across. So that's why it's important to do the same thing all the way across. And then again, I'm going to color in behind that little flower part so that I have it blackened in. And I could extend each one of these out. I look to see I must have repeated it again, but I am going to just to kind of make it connect. That ended on my page. I am just going to, I think I'm going to bring my lines down like that so that it ends on my page, just so that they connect. And now I'm going to do another tangle, and this one right down here is called Mandy Drops. But I'm going to change just a little bit. I have found that I like to, instead of just doing it right up against, and this is done right up against this line, I'm going to aura this line, because I want a little bit of space between. Even though I may not have auraed here, you're not going to notice the difference. And I may come back in here and fill in this space with dark right over the top of what I had done before, or what was printed in the book, just to fill that in so that I feel like it connects. That was shaded on my tile, and it picks up as a little bit of shading. So I'm going to fill those in. And now I'm going to turn my whole thing around so that I'm working going this direction. And I have it, I auraed it because I want to, instead of doing Mandy Drops all the way across there, I'm going to pick up on the aura flower, and I'm going to do it in the dip and then put Mandy Drops around it. So I'm going to just do a little arch, and then I'm going to do one on the inside, and then one more, and then fill that in. And I'm going to switch out from my 05 pen because I want a little finer tipped pen. So I'm going to go to my 01 pen, and an 01 that I've cannibalized there. That had a PN pen. There it is, the 01 that has the 01 tip. And I'm going to put just little scallops along here. And then I'm going to come back and add larger scallops in between. And if you look at the handout, you're going to see that this is Mandy Aura flower. And we've started with the little dots. And then I'm going to aura this So it's mainly, you can see that this is just aura after aura after aura. And I have just aura that, and I'm going to come back and make this one just a little bigger. And then in each one of these little parts, I'm going to come and put a little dot, a little black dot, and then a little line and a dot. And one of the great things you can do with Mandy is that you can color in between your auras. So I'm going to take advantage of that and color this in between. You notice I didn't change back to an 05. I'm staying with an 01 pen because sometimes what happens to me is I forget that I have that pen in my hand, and I draw something where I don't want a thicker line. And so there we have. Now I'm going to come back in one more time and aura this, which gives me a base for my Mandy drops. And I'm going to, right here I have, it looks like I have a Mandy drop started. I'm going to do just a little aura. And I'm going to put it along this line because I'm going to put Mandy drops in here. And I want it to connect with this one. So this is, you put this little drop, and I'm going to come right up over the top. And then I'm going to come back in and put a second one going to this side. That's why I wanted to use my finer tip pen, because I'm making them fit in between. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to aura this little space and fill this in. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to fill in that little space right there. So aura that and fill that in. Now I won't be able to do that going up here because that's already done, but I can come over here and finish the Mandy drop over here. So what I've done is I've kind of taken part of the Mandy drop idea and used it in a different area, and that's what you do. You change your tangles. You just kind of do what feels. It's, you know, you can, there's no set rule of what goes where. And now I'm going to continue this kind of line, so I'm going to come, and I know this was aura'd, so I'm going to aura this, make sure you use a light touch on your pen that you don't get heavy-handed. And we're going to come back again and connect this with another aura. And just follow that line. If there's not space to go down in, just stop and just aura along there. And now you can come, and since this was all filled in here, you can come and fill in to connect those two. And then I'm going to go along and just fill in all of this space. All the way to the end. And I have this original had some more, so what do I want to do? Aura again. Because I can, and I can extend that out, and I'm going to rotate it back around, and because it's just right here on the edge, I am going to just go ahead and put, because these have all these little dots right here, I'm just going to put dots in this little border. And pretty soon you can't tell where the original art on the book started and your art ended up. It just extends its way right across. And there are still a few tangles here, and I could come back. I'm going to turn it around because I feel more comfortable when I draw from left to right, because I'm right-handed. If you were left-handed, you'd go the other way. We can come back and do another little Mandy drop in here. And these don't touch, they just have that little flower effect. And I just work them into this space. And I noticed that I had done a little line up the center, so I may go back and do a line. But I notice that it's aura'd again. A lot of Mandy work is a lot of aura-ing. And so I just aura'd all the way across. And then you could come back if you wanted and put your little lines in to extend it out. Now that's a personal choice you could do. But you can see we've really got it just extended right across the page. And you could fill in over here. Now I'm going to come up to here where I have clipped my book together because it slips, and so I'm just clipping the pages together here. I'm going to move it down here. This was not on my class handout, but I used these are kind of like Carol O's footlights. And so to extend this out here, because on my original one it went off the page, I'm just going to come out with and then end with a little dot. I don't want it to go underneath all the words again. I want to still be able to see that. And I see this has another aura. So I'm just going to aura that, extend that out so that it finished that off. And then I'm just going to come out here at different angles. And this one would have come up from underneath here. If we think the holly ball effect, and we could put some going this way. Excuse me, my husband's out mowing the lawn and I have allergies to grass and trees, so you get the live thing. I'm gonna leave that in. So there we have, that's how you kind of get that little bright brightness. I might even come in here and add that little flower in there just to fill in that space. But you can see how I've just extended that out. Now if I want to, I'm going to add some color to this. And I am going to use a cool gray Prismacolor pencil. I think that it is really close to a graphite pencil color, but I like how it works. So I'm going to add my gray Prismacolor pencil. I'm not being, you know, real precise. I'm just going to add it on this one on the left hand side of my letters. And then I'm going to take my odorless paint thinner that's in a little pot, and there's a little sponge in there, and I'm going to dip it in, and you can see how it changes color. It sucks up, and then I can blend this color pencil out. If it doesn't seem to blend, you use just a little bit more odorless paint thinner. And I don't like how that's looking, so I'm going to add a little bit more. But you can also use a graphite pencil for this if you want to put a graphite. And I'm going to use a graphite to show you they're really, really similar. So I'm going to take my graphite pencil and I'm going to do the same right along here. Just add a shadow along my Mandy. I'm going to get one that I haven't dipped in odorless paint thinner. And I make sure I lay it on its side so I don't. And you can see how you can get that kind of that same effect. And there we have today's live Zoom lesson, a day late and filmed because some technical issues. And I did do it on a bookmark, which is really lots of fun. But I hope you enjoyed the lesson today. And I enjoy teaching the live Zoom classes. We've had some technical difficulties, people not being able to log in, and we're trying to work those out. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. New videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and live Zoom classes on Tuesday. Thanks again, and have a great day.